that shouldn't harm you right now at this point, because you're not going to reconnect back to storm and sewer. In time, what I'll do is I'll say, okay, what I've been doing is I've been copying all the data to the edit database from the test environment. For the map database, I'll just send you guys an email and say, okay, I copied this stuff out. But the reality is I'm not going to do anything with cadastral until, because that's going to be a replica. So until they start working with Eswin and Doug, I would just keep everything pointing back to the dev environment for the cadastral data.
And so tell me, and what is GIS Maps?
GIS Maps is going to be, think of GIS Maps as your database that replaces essentially the shapefile location today.
Okay.
So you're going to have a lot of people that are on there. Everyone's going to have select rights. No one will have edit rights. You'll edit all your data in GIS Edit. And then when you make maps or map services, they get published for GeoCortex. They'll consume the data from GIS Maps.
Okay. So it's like the master copy.
Yeah. Originally, I wanted GIS Maps set up as a WGS 84 Web Auxiliary Sphere environment. So it just makes it easier for when you're publishing to Portal, ArcGIS Online. If you're building raster caching, raster tiles, it draws a lot faster when your data is already in WGS. So, but I had some problems with 10.7.1, so I kept it at NAT 83. And if we need to do some publishing down the road, we'll just build file geodatabases. I have a replica built right now for SDE to SDE. I'm going to build one for file geodatabases, and those will essentially become the new shapefile format. But GIS Maps will be, you're going to edit everything in Stormwater, and then any of your ancillary data sets, you'll connect to GIS Maps for that. So any of the cadastral data sets, those will come from GIS Maps.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to change to GIS Jobs.
GIS Jobs, I haven't done anything with yet. I wouldn't worry about GIS Jobs yet. We're probably going to have you guys, we're going to probably start playing around with GIS. Once you guys move live, then what I mentioned, I think a couple of weeks ago or whatever, about how we can start working on the GIS Jobs dev database. GIS Jobs is a workflow manager database. So it's, in a way, it's, if you love to be organized, it's a tool for that. It's a micromanagement. It's almost like a micromanagement type of tool. So you can like drill down and define a workflow. We'll probably build our own workflow where I'll probably give this to Ken to work on, but it's going to be where when you guys complete your work, you'll say complete. We'll basically get an email that says that project is ready to be reconciled and posted. And then once Ken does the reconcile post, he'll check off, okay, I finished that. And then you'll get an email and say, okay, yeah, version was deleted. Something like that. So that's kind of a rough workflow, basic workflow. You guys may get more in depth. And where I see workflows also to be kind of handy is if you have more people like Kaylee and Leonard, they're going to come in and they're going to want to basically do some edits. And how do you define the edit workflow for them? You define the workflow using Task Assistant and Workflow Manager to help them step through the process as you get work done. But you don't need to worry about jobs yet. Everything's tracked as a job. That's why it's called the job database. It was originally an extension called job tracking. They renamed it to Workflow Manager, but there's a lot of neat things to it. It's just a whole nother animal though. So, but you're not going to be using it like today. Okay. And you may decide you don't even ever want to use it.
Can't hear you, Ted.
Oh, you didn't hear that? Did you hear anything?
Well, at least for me, it broke down at the end there.
Okay, so I was gonna say, you may get to the point where you don't even want to use Workflow Manager. But I have a class on Workflow Manager, so I put it out in my courses directory. And what I would recommend is start to review it. It's a couple years old as a class, but the technology in ArcMap hasn't really changed. So it's still relevant from when I took the class at like 10.3 or 10.4 or whatever it was.
So these when we're all done with the transition to ArcGIS and we're all done with this project, the development connections are going to go away, right?
Yes and no. The hope is you guys can delete them as much. If you want to delete them, you can delete them. The reality is
You'll still use them for further
like testing.
Testing.
Yeah,
Okay.
So when we'll do an upgrade, I don't know when, but once we move to like probably the utility network for you guys or the trace network, we'll probably do a database upgrade to match our portal. Our portal and our databases are not on the same release level because we're just doing straight client server, and there's no need or have to do that. So when we do move to the branch versioning environment, we'll probably take our database and update it. When we do that, you'll use the test environment. When we build, you want a subtype to be added, we'll add your subtype in the test environment because I want to see the behavior of that, how it impacts the connectivity rules, how it impacts the geometric network. We'll test it out in the test environment. Everything works great. Then we'll log it, and then we'll pick a date. And it won't just be your stuff. It will be Elijah will have some changes. I'm sure Lindsay will have some changes. We'll stack everything up. We'll probably do changes. Right now, I'm thinking like once a year. We'll compile everything and make changes. We'll basically re-emulate every single change in the test environment. And so that's where kind of the test environment will become useful. If you want to go out and start experimenting with your own data reviewer checks, you'll use the data reviewer test database to do that. You can do it with the production one. You can do it interactively with the production. But if you want to say, oh, I'm a little nervous about running this check, is this check going to run for like 3 hours, or is this check going to run for 30 seconds? Oops, I ran it in production. It actually turns out it's a 3-hour check. There's some of these checks will run for a considerable amount of time. And you want to make sure that, I'd rather run that in the development environment instead of running it in production. So there's going to be a use for the dev environment. But going forward, your latest data is going to be here. And what we'll wind up doing is we'll take snapshots, maybe monthly, once every 6 months, whatever it may be, where we'll emulate production now back to test.
Okay.
So would you want to name the connections as production? Is that okay with you? Or did you want to call them as like you're doing that? Just if you use the word production, it might be a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I'll remember better if I use that, like production somewhere in there. So would that be like GIS check production or?
Like I like to take the name of my database. I like to say whether it's an OS authenticated. If I just say OS, which would be your MD, I also have accounts that are database authenticated. So I need to differentiate what's OS authenticated, what's database authenticated, what's a test, what's a production, what's the name of the database. All right, so you have all these like different naming conventions. You don't actually have to do just @ signs. You can do exclamation points, or you can use other symbols that are in there. You just need to be able to have something. You got to make sure that when I'm editing the GIS edit production box, and I'm not editing the GIS test box. Whatever works for you, though. I don't want to say like, here's the policy that the city has to have, because that doesn't necessarily work for everybody. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, yeah, I'll think about it. I mean, or I guess I'll come up with my own little methods to make sure I know what I'm doing.
What I would do is this weekend, go in your backyard, pull out your rake, go out to the sand environment in the backyard and rake patterns in the sand to help soothe your mind so that you can come up with the right naming convention for your SDE.
I'll do that right when I get home today, because that sounds like a good approach.
I do that every day.
Okay, let's see. Now, if you have given this name there and then you want to go ahead and map your MXT, because your MXT is currently mapped to the dev environment. So did you want to do that? Open up a new MXT and then map it to that one. So our goals,
open up a new MXT?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
or you can close this without saving, and or if you saved
Oh,
it, then
I already saved
that's
it. Sorry.
okay. That's okay. Um,
So
So just a blank map.
so basically, when there are exclamation points, is the most optimal time to change your data. Right now, you'd have to go in if you wanted to fix this and point it to the edit box. You would either have to go through each one of these individually if you wanted to keep the symbology that DCSC defined, or you'd have to go to the actual connection in your database connection and drag and drop all that data into a new MXD.
but isn't there an MXD like that with those exclamation points already? Do you have one around?
I have. Let me see.
Like the one you opened up originally, that had exclamation points. I'm gonna be quiet now.
Well, let's see if this loads another instance or not. I don't know if it will. But...
Okay. The fastest way we can make one, like we can create a version and then point this to that version, delete the version, and then the links are broken, and then you can map it.
Okay. So on this one,
It's already mapped. Yeah.
but it's mapped in the development one. Oh, okay. So we'd have to break it. You're saying, right?
Yeah.
So might as well do that on the other one.
Yeah, because I think that one's
Okay. All right. So what do I do?
okay. So you're on the dev environment. Go and create a new version somewhere, or create a new version here in this one.
So I have to go. What do I? Let me see. Connection properties.
You
Okay, so I'm gonna go with GIS edit. No, I'm not gonna. Sorry. Administration.
mhm. But yeah, you do need to create a version because you're going to connect to a version on the production side, right?
Yes.
Okay. So which version would you like to connect to on the production side? Do you want to create a new version, or you want?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and create a new version.
It's grayed out.
Um, Privileges. Ted,
He has to highlight the default if
the
he wants to
default,
make it
yes.
permanent.
Okay,
Yeah.
first let's try that. Yeah. Right click. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Um.
So at this point, you could say you could do it by neighborhood, or you could just do it. Yeah, you already have an MR test in there, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just
There
do. Yeah, I'll just do another one.
Okay, there is one
get
more
rid
way to map your MXD, which doesn't involve breaking those links. So if you can open up your ARC catalog, you can do it there.
Oh, yeah.
So what do I
So
do?
navigate to the map document in the folders that you have.
This one?
Yeah, you'd have to
Is that the
close
one
your
that's open?
right. You'd have to close the MXD first.
I don't know if you have to. I think you do. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can right click. Set data
Set
source.
data source.
I would copy the connection string first for your database connection.
Oh, okay, like over here.
Yes.
So I'm gonna do. Wait. Oh, great. So edit production, right? Did I get it?
Mm-hmm.
Copy. All right. Select all.
Yes, it will be select all.
Are there any layers that just want to make sure that they're all coming from the same database? There are some that
Yeah, like
they're all from the same database, I believe. Has to be.
And then do the replace all. Okay. What it requires is it requires the entire path. Okay. Can you open up another R catalog, because I don't want it to crash again. Anything? Okay. Now double click on it rather than just copying it. Okay. Now on the top, you have to copy that one first. The database connection one.
All the way on the top. Oh no, sorry. Click on production and then go all the way.
Go to the file menu on the top. Just below there, you have a database connection. That path you copy entirely. Yeah, now copy it. Yes. Right click and copy. Now you go ahead to the other catalog and replace that with that. Try doing a replace all.
I guess I didn't copy. I did Control C, but
I think, Lata, I normally go to the Windows Explorer and get that entire path.
Get it? Let's see if it replaces. Can you replace and
replace all?
yes, let's try replacing all. Okay. Go to the right to see if it replaced. It's still working.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, see where your connection, that file is stored, that SDE file, and it's like a cryptic name. So if you see C users and your username there, and then app data local temp, so that's where you will find a bunch of SDE files. One for each connection that you see there, there'll be an SDE file there. So
this is why the version approach tends to be a lot easier, because you essentially you create a version, you repair data source to that version, then you go in, you delete the version, and now you've gone from exclamation point to non-exclamation point back to exclamation point.
You can click OK now, I think.
Okay, now go back into ArcMap.
There should have been a new map document saved in that location you specified before you clicked OK, right?
A new map?
Correct.
yeah, it crashed again. Oh, there it is. It says copy of storm drain 1. I think that.
Yeah.
Wow, it's crashing. Okay.
No, you should send those. I know the guy who reads that stuff.
Oh, I just thought they go into like a bottomless pit.
No. You wanna send those. Not that it's gonna really be fixed for ArcMap, but yeah, I know the guy who reads all that stuff. So very important, very important. The guy looks like you remember Cliff Clavin from the motorbike. What's that TV show? Hell's Angels, not Hell's Angels. What's the the guy? Shoot, I can't think of the name. The guy just reminds me of like that. When you get those things, fill them out. Send them out.
All right.
I was going to say, Mike, do you have two screens?
Yeah.
Maybe on the other screen you can keep your task manager open. You can see what's making ArcMap crash. if you're having a bottleneck or something.
Right.
Yeah, you keep that open in the
that?
other window. Yeah, keep that open in the other window so you can see it. Just keep an eye on it. And then while you're, yeah.
All right.
Okay, there's some layers that need to be mapped again. So we just now, are we in the right database? Let's make sure. Give a right click on any of the layers and check, or yeah, properties. And
Yeah,
Yep.
this is the one that Ted had, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. And so for
Okay.
now, your inundation area, if that's an important data set, I can push that out. That's from the Stormwater GP 2025 feature data set. So for now, just copy those out to copy that. You just keep using the SDE dev environment. And then I'll send you an email, and then you'll go in and you'll fix those. You'll just manually fix them. How many layers do you have that have exclamation points right now? So yeah, I would basically take your parcel polygons, your center lines. Oh, you do use all that stuff. The template has all that. Your easement, your center lines, and your parcel polys. Point that to SDE. Default your wards. Keep that on SDE dev. That's part of admin boundaries. Your parcel line temp, wastewater grid. It's interesting. Wastewater grid, isn't that in the featured data? Oh, that's wastewater.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can map that. Let me look at that. Here I said I'm ready, and maybe I'm not completely ready, but we're really close. So.
So. It's not in there. But the idea is I would just have to go through one by one on these, right?
Yeah. In the future. So what, like right now I'm giving you access to the GIS maps database. So you're going to have select rights on the sewer editor or the sewer data. And so then you can map the wastewater grid from there.
Okay.
I'm still working on it. Right now I'm enabling Storm so that I have a Python script that runs through everything. I just didn't run it on the map database because this database is going to have the most amount of users on it. Like anybody that currently is using the shapefiles will use this database, and you'll still have the ability to take stuff offline, but this becomes the source, and we'll replicate data every week.
Oh, there's the parcel lines one. Yeah.
But you got to definitely get comfortable with setting your source data. You'll be bouncing around until everything is completely done. You know, you'll, and the reason I haven't done all the work on the cadastral was they may have fields to add. And if I go ahead and copy that everywhere, then I'll have multiple places to copy fields. And I want to just maintain it once until it goes to production. You now have access to wastewater on GIS maps.
Okay. Is it service area or?
I don't know. I think it doesn't have a grid in it.
Oh, let's see. WW map page grid. Okay. Yeah.
And then
okay.
for
Yeah,
now,
I could go through and find these.
yeah. I can go ahead and copy out. I'll work with you offline about it, but right now your RCFC facility areas, your boundary, all that stuff is on SD-Dev. But I can go ahead and copy. I'm probably not going to do that as a. You're never going to edit that data,
Right.
So we can just do. I'm setting up replicas where I need replicas, and there's some things that I don't know if I want to build a replica on. I don't know if I need to do it here because you're never going to edit the data. So.
Well, how will we edit that data? I mean, do we get data from them?
So that's a good question. So from a standpoint of like flood control, we probably want to do like, maybe quarterly, monthly, yearly data extracts from their data, from their open data site, and just bring the data in. I've set up the feature data set. It's just really, it's a derivative feature data set, meaning data is created elsewhere and we're going to push it there. If we version it, then it just adds a level of complexity for us when we're working with it. So I've kept it unversioned. If you decide you want to update and maintain and edit inundation areas or inundation area of Fairmount Parks, then absolutely we can build it as a replica. We'll version it, no problem. But the Riverside County flood control data, you'll never edit that data. I wouldn't expect. So
No, I wouldn't either.
We'll keep that as like an unversioned data set. But if you want to say, the inundation areas, I may actually have to edit that. Then I'll set it up today and I'll have that data version for you and I'll have replicas built.
All right, we'll put that on hold. That'll come with more experience with this, I think.
Okay, one table that's really important here is your dynamic value table. So has that been copied to the production?
It has.
Okay, so let's set the source on that one.
But I don't know if I gave him, I'll open it up. GIS edit production. Let's see if I gave you access to that. Let me do that real quick.
How come I'm not getting anything here?
Because right now the dynamic table privileges.
It's looking for tables. Okay. Yeah.
Now
So do I need to close this out?
No, you don't have to do it. Ultimately, you'll do a refresh on it. Do you, for DCSC's errors, I just give them select rights, right? Select rights should be fine?
Select rights are okay as long as they wouldn't want to change anything. I mean, if somebody needs to maintain, and I think then that would be you, Ted, as far as like, making any changes to that table.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay, then.
I think this is where the dev environment for Mike comes in handy. Is if we do decide that we want to change and add some additional properties, we'll do that in the dev environment first, and then we'll come back and then implement it here. I'm giving them generate ID access too. I'm assuming he's that as well.
Okay. We are not using it right now, but yeah, go ahead and do that. Then we also have to check the SPL ID. That will be one more thing to do after this. So
Okay, so right now, if you do a refresh on your GIS edit database, you'll see dynamic value and generate ID.
I'll just cancel. I'll just go out and come back in. Okay. Okay. I can go through and do the rest of these later if we don't want to use all the time up.
sure, would you like to try like a sample edit, like make sure you're in a version, able to create a version and uh, editing.
Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do is this is the one I just did. So it's already created. So I can go over here, right?
Yeah, you need to switch to the
And
version.
go change version. And I'll change to here.
Okay, now let's make sure you're able to just do a sample edit. Is that okay by you, Ted, that we just do a sample edit?
Yeah, we're not going to push anything to default, but yeah, you can go ahead and do a sample edit. Absolutely.
Very possibly you can use one of those areas where you have those the network junctions and replace it with something appropriate. Hang on, you're okay with those? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, can you also turn on your attribute assistant is already on. Okay, good. So let's go to.
Would recommend saving the MXT once.
You want to save the MXT? Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Before it crashes.
Yeah. Save early, save often.
Hold on. It's still thinking.
You have been granted access to the public safety planning feature data set and the GP 2025 one. So your other ones that were exclamation points, those have been granted to you.
Okay, I created a line.
Yeah, so this is where you kind of talked about, you're going to want to get in there and start playing with this and understanding this. So, that looks like a good edit. I did everything right. Okay, I'm going to tell Ted and Ken, okay, go ahead, reconcile, post this. But you want to keep track of them. So until you're like, okay, I'm ready. These are good. I'm going to start editing this. I'm going to start editing every day.
Oh.
As far as asset ID is concerned, Lata, you have the scripts that they should be using, the editor should be using on the production versus like the.
Correct. Yeah.
That's right. So
the first one should be against the production.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, you could go to the GIS video directory And if you haven't done this, if you haven't copied her toolboxes locally, they should be in GIS video. And I just shared the path to the new folder structure for you and Elijah through Teams. So you can see, and I have a copy of this whole folder on there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know if it
Yeah,
has it
you have
changed
the-
since the last.
No, there's no change. You already have the
Okay.
tool installed. So you use the first one, which is your production.
And,
Yes.
This.
The second
one's-
one is called GIS Edit. So the first one is obviously the production. If you want, Lata, would it be okay if they renamed that tool or?
No, I think we just he'll get used to it. I think. So is it run okay? Everything runs. Hopefully the SID gets updated. Boom, 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 boom. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
All right. And so the next thing would be to run QC.
All right.
So
And
map
so how much
the
fun was there? You had a
RBJ
lot of
files.
fun? Was that a lot of fun, Mike? Changing those exclamation points out?
That was fun. Very fun.
Data review is even more fun.
It was fun to watch.
I know. We should put this on YouTube or something, huh? So what am I doing now? I can't remember data reviewer.
Okay, so then now go see the checkbox to the right of the dropdown. Click on that button,
Yeah.
and then you'll get a dialog, and then you'll have a browse button. You want to browse to the yep, and you're going to want to go to the database reviewer
Wait.
connection. Go
It's
up. On
it's in check dev.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what you're doing.
Yeah. So if you go, yep, click on database connections, and then do the check production. 2 above that. Click on that. They add. Nope. You just want to just connect to the SDE. Yep. And right now, I think go click on new. You might be 1. Yeah, you're the session 1, Mike.
Man,
You.
I feel super special.
Oh, I always like to be session 1, but I forgot. Darn. So start session, and then click on the advanced button too.
Okay. Do I want to look at some on advanced or yeah?
You'd have to set the QC grid also.
Table. Click on table. Go back to reviewer methods. Click on table properties, and click on grid. Far right tab. Go to browse. When you open up GIS Edit Production, do you see QC grid on there? Okay, give me a couple seconds. See, this is good.
In edit? You said in edit production?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to give you access to it. Just give me a couple seconds.
Yeah, I'll put it.
Okay, now you should be able to connect to it. You're kind of my guinea pig, so when Elijah steps up, he'll have access to everything.
Is it in the QC here? Okay, this one?
Yep. And then at that point, then Adam probably and Haritha can talk you through it. If you need to change anything, I just keep the object ID.
Keep it to page grid, please. Or set it to page grid, I mean to say. And then did you click link current grid?
No.
Yeah, click that. And then something should appear to happen, I think.
Oh.
No. It's okay. Just do me a favor. I can't tell if it's processing something right now or if it's done. So can you kind of just this table properties, reviewer table properties dialog box, just grab it and kind of move it across the screen real quick? Okay, now click OK. Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of you click on that link, and it just highlights it. And that's the action that it does, but it's not like, it doesn't look like it's pushed in, it just gets selected. What I like to do is how to write results. I like to click that little drop down and do the table writer, do the table writer, and then click apply. Another thing I like to do is you get in here and start playing around with check for duplicates only with current session, or do not check for duplicates. Like at some point, you don't want to go in there and have it. If you you've already run a scan, you don't necessarily need to run that scan every single time to where you're going to actually end up with, basically, I don't care about duplicates. I don't want to look through them. I don't want to scan them. So essentially, I turn that off.
Can I have a question? How to write results? What did that drop down do?
Well, it just has to me, it's just it uses the data reviewer table writer, but what does it exactly do? I don't know. I've just always just defined that, drop that down. I think you can still write. Obviously, you can still write if you don't have that selected.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I was just wondering. Thank you.
And then there's other things that we can start doing is like when you can get into, we can customize some of the options. And in time, when you get more comfortable with data reviewer, we won't do that now. We'll get in there and we'll start trying to tweak things. Like when you're doing severity levels and when you're like, okay, there's basically added capabilities that are a little more advanced. They're not too advanced, but it's once you understand the workflow, the choices that we'll define within the reviewer session manager and some of these tabs that you have there, it will make it the selection or decisions going forward easier the more you edit the data. I'll leave it at that. And you don't need to worry about anything else. At this point, you say apply and close. And then now open up the button to the right. Go, yep, right there. Open that up. Open up your RBJ file. So Storm. And then Adam can talk you through this. So the point of this is he's going to have you map your new
to the new production data set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So click validate, please. And see what it's going to probably give us a bunch of errors. So okay, no, click no, please. So what we need to do is we need to X out of here.
You could click. Can you click? Just click workspace.
He can, but the problem is, he'd have to do them into one by one. He'd have to change the workspace one by one. To do this quickly, the best thing to do is create a new database connection that is automatically mapped to the version he's in and not the default, and specify that for the. You know what I mean?
Really?
So right now. Yeah, that's the workaround. That's the workaround I had to do. Otherwise, I had to change them one by one.
I was able to go in and replace all of them.
Okay, let's try that way first. If maybe it just didn't work for me. There's always that.
Yeah, we had database connection versus like OS connection. That I don't know if that could be impacted.
Yeah, that of course. Yeah, there's always that.
I know the only time I had to actually go above that was when you guys had a version connected to Asset ID.
Mm-hmm.
The Asset ID you need check.
Yeah, Asset ID doesn't ever seem to fix itself with the the workspace. Yeah, so click workspace like you did. 1 second, I just need to close the door here.
So at this point, right click on just the third one down.
Okay, so basically, you're gonna look for
change data source.
Yeah, and show invalid data source checkbox.
And then go up, because you can only select one at a time, I believe, right? So
what am I changing it to?
database connections. Go to which one are we? Can you move the select data source dialog down? Okay, we're looking for dry well. So go open up your GIS edit production. Go to stormwater and do your dry well. Say okay. And then say, wait a minute, apply to all matching paths.
Oh, paths? Okay.
Oh, let's try that. Apply to all matching paths. Say okay. So now your connection should be all GIS edit. Now the top two, so say okay. Okay, at this point, not to be a little anal, I would say save as, put it on your C drive or whatever, you know, call it Storm QC, and then today's date.
Would you want to use production in there, or?
Yeah, you could do PRD, just type PRD, and then say okay. Because we're going to overwrite this in a second. And then say save as. Okay, now go back to workspaces. And go open up the first one, the very first one. So it's just, yeah. So there's no workspace, so change version. I had problems with these.
Yeah, so this is the workaround I had to figure out.
This is the asset ID one, or is this, which check is that? That's.
This is the probably the asset ID. Like it gets stuck on the H vendor.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is why I had that work. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a workaround that Haritha and I found out. If you want to
try it.
So we'll go no here.
Try it. Yeah. So click no, and just do me a favor, real quick. Just show invalid data sources only. I just want to see if there's on the checkbox bottom left.
It's taking a
So
minute.
that should only show those.
Okay, that's cool. You cancel out of here now. So what we need to do is in your catalog window, we need to create a new database connection. That's basically it's mapped to the
Cancel here?
Yeah, you can cancel out of here. So go to database connections in your catalog window.
Oh.
Not your table of content. Yeah. So you're going to create a new one. Yeah, and it's basically going to be your.
You can just right click and copy and paste.
Like
right. Map edit.
Yeah.
Right. So just right click MD GIS edit production. Right click, say copy, and select database connections and say paste. You know, see underscore copy, and there you go.
Yeah. So rename that, or you keep it copy, or just rename it versioned or something. Copy. Yeah. Change copy to versioned.
Oh, I know you did. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did. And then you're basically gonna right click that, I think. I'm pretty sure this is where I kind of forget. And then you're basically going, administer geodatabase, right?
Well, you can also map that to the version itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I want to do. I just want to map to that version.
Cancel. Don't do that, Mike.
Yeah.
Close that. Close that dialog. Right click on that connection. Go to geodatabase connection properties.
Yes, thank you.
And then select your test, MR test, say okay. We also have archiving on this. So this is the way you would connect to an archive, a snapshot in time, just like we just did just now. So now,
now go back to the data reviewer RBJ thing. Yeah, open
up the snapshot that we just saved, that one. This will help verify whether it worked on that part. Say validate. Nope.
Okay, workspace.
Workspace.
Now, you select the first one, I guess, right?
Yep.
So now you don't ever need to do change version. So now you just need to do data source, and it changes the version as well. And now you pick go back out to that geodatabase that you just made it the version one. Yeah. Okay. I think and select what layer is this? Oh, so I guess you can just select the database. You don't have to go into this much detail. So just go out a level. I'm pretty
Go up.
sure. Yeah,
Oh.
and just highlight it. Yeah, click OK. I don't think you have to go all the way in and match the layers. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so expand the version on the top with the column between version and qualified name. There's a little, yeah. I just want to see that. Oh, okay.
I'll work for that one.
Okay, and then say okay. And now save as.
It didn't do it
Overwrite
for
the
the
one
rest
that's
of them.
there
Though.
and say okay. And say yes. And now say cancel. And now open up the 3 check boxes to the right. Farther over.
Oh,
There. Yep. These are the buttons. This is so add from file. Grab that. Yep. Now the problem with that approach is we'll have to change this. Is he's going to delete that version, and then it will create a problem again. So I'll have to play with it, but
So every time there's a
So
version change, they should be able to, change the RBJ file. And I think we have documented this. But
yeah. But if we get it to the point where we can map them to the source, not the version,
mhm.
then every time he creates a new version, he would just select that. So at this point, Mike, just click current extent.
you also have asset ID selected. Do you want asset ID check to run? Yeah. So when you unselect them all, the first one's always still selected.
yeah. So, well, what do I want to check here?
Run them all.
Run them all since we're just doing the current extent.
Yeah.
The the asset ID is going to go through the whole database though, no matter what.
So
Oh.
uncheck that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it has to
So
check.
go
You
run.
want to validate all, or you don't want to validate?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yes or no?
Validate. Yep. Let's try that. No configuration errors. Say run. I mean, the worst thing happens, everything blows up, Mike, and we just have to rebuild it. Because you're session 1. You're the first session.
Yeah.
Database yet. You're the first person.
Now, since we have done this to the production, would it be okay to give that to Elijah, and then Elijah can just switch the version there?
Yeah, he'll create his own version, and then
Yeah,
Um,
both the
So at that
MXT and the
yep. And then now there you go, Mike. Fix all those problems.
wow, all those problems from this extent?
Yeah.
So
Oh.
there is apparently the main line that we just created, is probably it's not following any of the rules and all. So
Yeah, it's not connected to anything. It's a little segment.
Yeah. Okay.
there's domain errors we see, which could be easy to,
Right. I didn't fill in any attribute data
yeah,
at all.
exactly. Every
So-
attribute is probably showing an error, and that's why you have that many errors. So
Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna have to. I mean, I went through the steps, but I don't know if I understood everything, especially on that last part with the data reviewer. But
majority
okay.
of it is a one-time setup, correct? And then the only thing like you would do is every time you create a new version is when you point those files, your MXD, your RBJ files to the new version, and then you're good to go. So a lot of it that we have done today is basically your initial setup.
okay.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Haritha until the project ends. And then, 2 years from now, you can reach out to Adam. Hey, Adam, I had a question about data reviewer. He can
Yeah, it
decide
should be
how to
better
answer it, how to answer it, whatever. But yeah, it's we can help you going forward on this. But
Okay. So essentially, let's say I go through data reviewer and I fix the errors, and then I want to submit. I say, hey, I'm good with it. I want to give it to Ted and Ken.
Yeah.
What
And
do I
then
do
we'll
then?
wind up. We'll run data reviewer on our side. Look at your data, look at the extent, zoom into the area that you're in, run it, make sure everything's good, and then do a reconcile and then post.
But do I just tell you, hey, this version, and give you the name of the version is ready to go? Do I send you an email, or how's it work?
Yep. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to build this as probably a workflow. But for now, at this point, just send us an email and say this version is ready to be reconciled and posted. This, or you don't even have to say that. This version is ready to be posted, posted to default.
Gotcha.
It's a workflow that we're going to probably try to make easier, certainly for Ken. I just haven't had time to work on it. So
Is
Wait.
the grid not in there?
The
Doesn't look
QC
like
grid?
The grid field isn't in the.
It's not
isn't in the-
populated.
Well, it's not that it's not populated. There's not even a field for
Yeah,
it.
can you check? Can you add the QC grid field?
Yeah.
Where is it? Right here.
So the best way to
Oh,
that would be to go to the table properties. So you can go down to the reviewer table. There's a
Down.
big button on the
Yeah.
side, and it's in the middle. Yeah.
this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You get a grid. Okay. Link the grid. And it should do its thing. And then, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's one more thing you need to do is on the data reviewer toolbar at the top, the last icon or the last button, that one.
That's it? Or
It should open a window.
Oh.
open like a
I don't see anything.
There it
Oh,
is.
there it is.
So you can right click in there, hit properties. And I just want to check, go to grid again. All right, so go to active grid, go where it says none. You're gonna, no, go to browse.
It
All right.
may have to be added here. Even though we
Yes.
set it up in the beginning.
And I'm using
Yes,
check or
Where
Production.
check production, right?
No.
It's edit production.
Yeah, I thought it was edit.
And then
It's
QC.
in QC and QC grid.
And then change add grid to map
Oh, how about the label field? One
and
second.
label grid, and then change object ID as well.
To
please.
page. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
And,
showing two boxes.
yeah, so now open up the reviewer table again, see if it updated.
May have to add and initialize it.
They have to stop edit and then re-edit. Stop
I already
section.
stopped editing, but
No, not editing. Go to reviewer. Go to, click on the checkbox to the left. No.
this one?
Yep. Your session manager, close the session, end session, start session again. Click apply, click close. See if that does it.
We had to link it again, right? So, I mean, there was a button to initiate that.
Where at?
Can you go to the properties and then link current grid? There's nothing happening.
Yeah, I clicked it and nothing happened. Let me
Yeah,
make
it
sure.
doesn't-
Now
it
go
doesn't-
back and click it again.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Yep, click it, and then don't click again. So you
Yeah, so
highlight
you want it,
right now.
yeah, you want it highlighted,
Oh.
and then you click OK. Yeah.
I know that there's a time lag to that. That's what happens, But I just want to make sure that you have all the privileges on these so that you do see the grid up there. Has it got to do with the version? What I'm trying to say is, have we connected to the default there instead of his version, Adam?
Yeah,
Um,
it shouldn't be it
it
shouldn't
shouldn't
matter, but
be a problem
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure it's linked to the. It's not versioned in ours either, and I don't think that is that was that QC Grid ever versioned, right? Or no, it
it's
is
actually,
versioned because it's in the edit. Yeah, it
yeah,
could be versioned.
it's version in production right now.
Okay.
Because remember, you guys needed a version so that the extra fields got added.
Yeah.
Correction, corrected,
This-
verified.
Yeah, and then we didn't get the prompt to add those fields when we linked the grid.
Mhm.
So
Because they're already there.
yeah. We could check to see the table, the attribute reviewer table, see if any fields are turned off. I think you do that with the not that one. The
Not that one.
yeah,
Review
it's this-
table
yeah, pull that
options.
up.
Go to
Yeah, I think it's in
property.
the properties. Yeah, and then go to fields. Is there a grid field in here somewhere?
Yeah.
Sure.
QC grid.
Turned
Yeah, there
off.
it is. All right.
Okay.
That's strange. So check for that. I've never seen that, but QC grid. Okay, now we can link current grid. So now let's link. Go to the properties again. The window you're just in. Now grid, link current grid. Okay, and now close the reviewer table and open it back up because it'll never show you the updates unless you do that for some reason. Yay!
There you go.
What do you? I don't even know what changed. What changed exactly here?
QC
How
grid.
do
Look
you
over
know?
by ID on the very right. See now,
Oh,
now it's
right
linked
here.
by. Now you can search by QC grid. So drag the QC grid all the way to by general to the very left.
Yeah, see where it
to
says
the very
drag a
left to
column
the top.
header?
Yeah.
Huh?
In that little white box. Drag the field to the white box above. Yeah, there you go. That
Yeah,
helps
right
organize.
there.
Right
Right
there.
there.
Right here.
It
There you
helps
go.
organize your data.
So you're split. All your review is split between those two grids. Yeah.
So you will
So why is it
find.
not showing up in the reviewer overview?
Oh, you need to click the paintbrush. Is that what you're trying? Oh, the reviewer, but he's zoomed out on the reviewer overview. I think he's just not zoomed in. So he just lost his page. I see like a little red dot type in there.
On the
If you
left
want.
side, you mean?
Yeah, on the reviewer overview window. So left of
You
your
can
table of
press
contents.
on the zoom to select it there on the left side. There is one more window called reviewer overview window.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Yeah. So
Next
that's
button over.
where.
Yep, that one. Zoom to selected.
Yeah, you can zoom to select it.
Oh, okay. And that'll bring me over here.
No, well, yeah, it
What?
should. There should be a grid that draws over there.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that before.
So
But
select something in your reviewer table. Just yeah, from the left where the arrow is. There you go. And
Okay.
then now try it. Let's see if that works. Huh.
I think that's basically the grid, and I thought that a grid was selected on the right side, but you have the globe symbol there, which is basically going to zoom you on the reviewer overview to the entire area if you want to zoom to full extent.
There we go.
And now you can zoom closer into the area. But
So you can
there
double
was
click. Yep, you can double click there, Mike, in the reviewer table. Double click on that,
okay, I did.
and then that zooms in too. But note, it will flash like that 7 times.
Oh,
Mine flashed forever on my personal machine. It doesn't do it. It didn't do it on my local machine at work or your environment, but on my personal machine, it would just do this forever, and I don't understand why. It's
To me, it's
What's
a
it?
bug.
there is a grid button on the general tab on the reviewer table. Can you click that one? At the
Yes,
bottom?
it's gonna go forever.
this one?
Yeah, the grid selection tool. Okay, you can select a grid here. It doesn't have to be the one that, I mean, generally you try to find it, but you can select a grid. It may or may not have any results, but you can then say, there is
Oh,
no
okay.
results for that, but up there you can say now, up in the reviewer overview, there is a select.
This is something that we never had at the
Zoom to
county. We
select it.
never had the clicking thing, but
Oh, it's still
no.
flashing.
Yeah, it's not going to stop. He's going to have to close ArcMap and then open it back up.
oh,
Okay.
it stopped. It
Oh,
stopped.
okay. Maybe it'll stop on my.
Did you say 7 or 70?
It's 70.
Okay, can you click on the zoom to grid? Zoom to selected. It's not.
It's not doing anything.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to have a draw there.
Well, let's on the right side here zoom to your extents, the globe up on the not that one, but
Oh,
yeah, the main one, just so that you can see your entire area. To your extents.
You can use bookmarks.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm clicking it.
But yeah, just use bookmarks. Yeah.
See, this is the problem, Mike, where we need to put empty geometries in your empty layers.
Feature classes.
Because
Yeah.
when you do a full
Yeah.
extract, it doesn't know really. It's supposed to support and work. That doesn't really work. So we'll have to go in and start putting in just a single line because then it will build a spatial index. Right now, when you click full extent, it zooms out to Jupiter, right? Because it doesn't have a spatial extent on some of your layers inside your feature data set, so it doesn't know how to give you the bounding box to zoom into the data. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of the reason why we gave you something called a QC-MXD versus the editing MXD. So, I mean, you don't have to maintain them separately, but it just keeps things separated out as far as the processes of editing and the quality control.
I don't think I have that one on my. I'll have to get that one from the M drive or wherever it is.
Yeah, I mean, you can simply save this as there aren't too many differences between both of them, except the QCMXD has all the data review related stuff. So
Oh yeah. Well. So what do we call this? QC
Storm.
storm.
And then you can put you could have put an underscore and said session 1. I was session 1. Underscore I was session 1.
Oh man, I already clicked OK. Dang it.
So we
yeah,
got to figure out how the reviewer option thing is, but I don't think that's something DCSC has to worry about. I think it's just something we're going to have to just work through.
Now, how do I get it back to where I could see my errors?
oh
Never.
yeah. You see, you had selected a specific QC grid, right?
Oh yeah, on here, right?
Right.
Okay,
So you can
so if
unselect. Okay, there's no selection actually at this point.
select all.
You could do that.
Okay, never mind.
So cancel that and drag your QC grid out.
Yeah, if you drag it out, then it'll show all the errors. Like if you bring it down, you can do it that way. But yeah, now you can see your errors.
Now they're back.
Yeah, because those grids kind of got selected in.
Yeah, the select all was the way I did it.
Yeah.
The way he just did it.
Okay. If you bring the QC grid down again, you'll find no breakdown there, but just one.
Like drag it off the
Yeah.
and drop it.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can do that with any of the columns to just kind of like to filtering mechanism.
Exactly.
Like I like to
grouping
do it with errors. Like I want to look at the errors and I want to track everything through errors. I'll drag the error into the column and then I'll go through each error by itself.
Yeah. Okay.
Check title. It's a good one.
All right. Yeah. So
Okay, so we have, I mean, I didn't check if the attribute assistant worked or not, but if um,
Oh yeah.
some of the fields were populated for the new feature, then it should have. So let's
Yeah.
check on the last feature that we created. What would have come from there?
pipe length, upstream. Yeah, these I didn't.
Up, oh, really?
What the ward was populated.
Yes, the ward getting populated is from attribute assistant. So that's working. But I'm actually surprised that you have the up invert and down invert, because I thought that there was no.
Do we have the same selected, same line selected?
Yeah, we're not sure, right? Can you make sure that
See the object ID? Can we see the?
Oh no. Okay,
That's why
hold on. Yeah, no, it's I have a point selected here.
Okay, so yeah, let's see if the ward is populated.
Ward
Yes.
9.
Yes.
Because of the SPL ID, what got populated with the 9?
But the 9 that's a ward for
No.
outside the city, right?
Yeah, okay, so the
It was
SPL ID
9.
script did run. Is it in a ward or not? That's my
Oh, but I
question.
don't have the word. What I don't have the words here. What
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's why.
reference that?
Can we map?
Yeah,
Can we map the
Okay.
ward?
Yeah, just for right now, just connect to it to yeah, go there, go to your QC, your edit, your dev box, GIS edit dev. Click on GIS edit dev, and go to admin boundaries. Click ward. Do
Okay.
it that way.
Eventually, it will be going to the maps.
Yeah. He'll connect to the production, but this is the whole point of this is that he gets used to being able to say, okay, I need to now. He's connected to dev. Okay, now I need to switch wards from dev to production, and he'll know how to set that data source.
Okay, so could you start editing this version again and then create one more, feature, and we'll see.
Do I need to end my reviewer session? Does that matter?
You're
Yeah, go
okay.
ahead.
Just start editing. So it's going to be confusing if you see so many. I could normally give a right click and then go from there. But let's say you created a parallel line to.
Okay. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start it, and then I'm gonna right click here, and then go parallel,
Mhm.
and like that, right?
I actually wanted you to connect to a manhole so that. So can you cancel your edit? Delete sketch.
Delete.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Can we
Let
turn
me
off
turn
all
off the.
those? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of distracting. Okay. So let's actually draw a line that runs between those two junction structures.
Oh.
Yeah, and parallel to this other line.
Parallel to this line.
No, parallel to the line that's running horizontal. Like, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So start at one of the junction structures. Down there, yeah, and then
Okay.
come down straight for like 100 feet or so.
So you do like a perpendicular and then set a length.
Yeah.
Like, so you want to
oops.
you actually want to highlight over the line, then click perpendicular, which will then make it perpendicular to the line. So now go and draw that. No. Now right click.
And
Right
then
click.
yeah, that's what I did. And think it.
Now
Okay.
that, and now you can also do right click.
I'll go length.
Uh-huh.
Might have to do perpendicular again, I think, if he does
No.
the length now. Oh, no, good.
Okay.
Now
And
you can
then
do perpendicular to
Now
that
go
one.
parallel,
Or yeah, that will work too. Mhm.
or I can go perpendicular to the one I just made, or no?
Yep, either or.
and then a length of, let's say, 50 feet now. And then connect to the last, the other junction there. Yeah. I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm just trying to see how many attributes will be caught and finish the sketch.
Yeah, I pushed F2. I guess.
Okay. So you have 3 lines. Uh,
Let me create manholes here.
yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Okay, save edits.
hmm
Now you're going to want to go through and select those lines and run the SPLID tool.
Yeah.
Let's see what attributes got populated before we run SPLID. Okay.
Well, when does the attribute assistant start? It when you do the reviewer?
No, the attribute assistant is supposed to be working before that. So we are trying to see, well, obviously the manholes have, null values right now, right? We didn't
What was
assign
calculated?
any values for them. So we could run the attribute rules manually, but we'll have to
Basically, word should have been calculated, right?
yeah, what should have been. Was there a ward here? And that's what we're trying to check on this setup. Is there a ward available in that area? Like identify?
Yeah, could we see the table, dynamic table, quickly for a minute?
The ward table?
Dynamic table that
Oh, done.
was.
Looks
Yeah,
good.
it's always at the bottom for tables.
Okay. Let's go down to ward. Okay, that's number 40.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go all the way to.
Oh, look at that field, ward numb, ward
It,
underscore numb.
okay.
That field had changed, I believe. Can we
Okay.
double check?
Ted, you might have a permission on that. So right now, this was, I think it was just a ward number. There's no underscore or no.
Yeah,
Let me look.
the field is different. The field had changed for ward number from when we set up this one.
From cat temp to this, maybe. Yeah.
Can you open up the attributes of the ward feature class? And let's see what the ward number it's actually called ward number. I mean, if you give a right click on the table there and see actually the properties of the ward number field, it's actually ward number. It's not ward underscore num now. So we'll
Okay,
have to change.
so what I would do, Mike, is stop editing, close ArcMap. Let me kill that data set, and then we'll copy the new one in.
So I'm going to save my MXD, all right?
Yep.
I think Ted, you can make this change, or maybe we should
Do
do
we
it.
have access? If you don't have access to the production, we cannot change.
No, but
Otherwise,
this is not on the production, Lata. This okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, the dynamic table is coming from it's the dynamic table is coming from
What I'm
production.
going to do is I'm going to copy the dynamic value table from the test environment to the production.
okay. Let me quickly
Did
see
we
the test.
fix it? Yeah, that's what I'm
Let
trying
me
to
quickly
see.
see the test. Okay. Oh, hold
Yeah.
on.
I think we may have or we may not have because we didn't actually work on the configuration again. It may be just easier Ted, for you to edit this and change that instead of ward_num.
Well, if I just delete the field, then that would be even easier, wouldn't it?
Delete the field.
If I just go into dynamic value and I say delete dynamic value,
No, no, no. Don't do that, please.
why?
Maybe can we switch to your screen and have this table open on your MXD?
Yeah. So what I would do is I'd go in and I'd disconnect Mike and Elijah from this database, delete dynamic value, copy the dynamic value from the test database to this database, then they would be able to reconnect.
We want to make sure that the test is fixed.
Yeah, I'm just opening up right now to the map too. 1 second.
Yeah.
I'll be able
Let's
to check.
make sure. Yeah. Because we found that when we were setting it up for water, and then I think on the water we created a new different dynamic table, so we did not come back to the wastewater and storm there.
What about any other field that needs for the main line?
Sorry, Lata.
Is there any other attribute that goes to the main line from the dynamic value?
Oh, you want to look back over
I'm
here?
I'm just checking manhole.
Yeah, but that's WW. It's not the storm drain.
Yeah, so all others doesn't apply. Okay. Map sheet, how about map sheet? Let's check that.
Map sheet is a star. It's for everything.
So let's see if the manhole has a map sheet.
Okay, we have to open up the manhole attributes then.
Oh, the manhole. Okay.
Select it. Map sheet is blank too.
Yeah, there's a lot less in there.
Is the map sheet feature class? What is it, and is it present here or not? That's one more question. We do have the wastewater grid. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But you have to look at the map page grid. Does it have a map sheet field?
Index polygon page grid.
It's not okay. What's the feature class name for the wastewater grid? If you give a right click and go to properties.
Map page grid. WW map page grid.
Okay, Lata, that's one more thing. I think it's been edited, but check and make sure on the testing
So
side.
it should be map page grid. Okay.
Right. And the field that you're transferring over is, it has to be the page number, I believe. No spaces.
Oh, so instead of showing map sheet, it needs to say page number?
Yeah. At least that's what we see in this.
I see as a ward number in there. I'm just wondering whether it got posted. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay. You're connected to a version, or are you on the default?
Yeah, let me see where this table is connected from. It's a version default. Let's see, version default. Okay.
So maybe now Ted can copy the table.
Oh, you edited it in the other one?
Why
Yeah,
does
I don't know when it was copied here, so but I see there as a ward number for ward.
It was probably copied early because you had 7 rows at one point. Now you have like 13. So,
Yeah, I see.
because I made a snapshot of this data like a long time ago
Oh, okay. So,
before
okay,
you
let me
guys did any edit, before you did any editing.
okay, let me check on the other one, map sheet, right? Map sheet, I see it as www map page grid and a page number. Okay.
okay? So that table is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ted, would you be able to? Maybe if you have to override, then everybody has to disconnect, right?
Yeah. I just need. I already copied it over. Right now it's called display grid dynamic value _1. I just need to have Elijah and I don't even have to have them disconnect. I can disconnect them.
Okay. And then you're
And
going
then
to rename the table back.
And they'll have to refresh. Let me
So
just,
you don't need me to close out?
No, you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
Unless they remove that permission. I had to argue with them about this permission.
Let's just save the edits that we made. We created these lines and manholes. Let's just save. Oh,
Yeah.
it's already saved. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm already
Good.
out of the editing session.
It's magic. If it works. Oh, they removed it. They removed the rights. Yeah. We've it's good. I can tell Jason I need these rights. So right now, the only way for me to change is I have to have you guys disconnect. I think we're probably gonna have to have another meeting for Elijah.
Yeah, it should
Tell me when
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna tell me when to open it back up.
I closed as well.
Okay, I have to figure. There's a certain command that I have to do, and I can't remember off the top of my head because our IT is paranoid, schizophrenically paranoid about connection information, and it's insanity. It's hard to get anything done. Okay, you guys have access to the new table. Was I supposed to copy over map sheet? Or did map sheet need to be changed or?
You mean layer?
The field name. The field name shouldn't say.
No, it should match now as per the.
Did you change that on the test box?
No, it was already changed. That.
Well, it says so when I look at the table, it shows map sheet. Map sheet is the field name, and the value info is page number. Map page grid, page number.
Yeah, I thought it is page number. Map sheet.
So if you connect, Mike, you should be able to see that table now. You and Elijah. So we'll have to put it off for another week then for them to go live, which is fine.
So wait, what am I doing?
I mean,
with
Mike
this
can go live.
table,
Elijah doesn't have to go live for another week.
Yeah, if you open up the dynamic value table, like a right click
or just
and
open up the
open
table?
Yeah, open table. Yeah, now what number is, yeah, it's not underscore anymore. Page number. Okay.
Yeah, just create a sample, like start editing in the version and then
Or
create some features.
can
And
we do on rule run?
yeah, you can
I'll
run the
select this
rules.
one.
Yeah. So select
Okay.
those features that you just created.
Okay, are we in edit mode right now?
No.
Okay, let's start editing.
Did we set the on create rules, right? Lata, you're asking to
Yeah, we
press
can,
which button?
we can, okay. If you go to the attribute assistant, if you go in the order of, let me see, on create.
Wait, that's this, right? Yeah.
Is the third from the right? Yeah, run create rule for selected features. Correct. Click on that. Oh, how come we have 18 features selected? There should
Oh,
be.
Oh,
Can we go to the
Here.
selection and see?
Yeah.
I think the reviewer stuff is on, so just turn those off or unselect them. Basin.
But we're running out of time. Do we want to set up another meeting for next week?
I think so.
Still seems like a lot. Oh,
Yeah, the parcels and the synergy and annotations, I mean, they are not really part of this,
Yeah.
but you can unselect them anyway. They're not going to be editable, but you can just run unselect them anyway. Um,
Now we are good. Mhm.
mhm.
Yeah. Now let's open up the attribute for mainline or a manhole.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see map
Select.
sheet there.
All right. So map sheet
is there.
and Ward.
What's been populated for one?
Which one is that?
That
Okay.
one was already there, I think, right?
Yeah, that was there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's probably an
How about for
existing.
a manhole? How about for a manhole? At the bottom, let's switch to the.
Can you press the selected only?
Oh,
We
yeah.
already have a meeting tomorrow too, so we could just do another meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, those two new ones don't have Ward.
Okay. Okay. Let me check the rules on populate.
The ward's not mapped again. For some reason, we lost the mapping on the ward. So that's probably a reason. Can we go and map the ward again?
Oh, huh. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, let me just add you to the GIS admin boundary. I don't have it in. Let me. You know what? Let me copy that.
Let me run this again.
Yeah.
There they go.
Okay. So ward is working. That means attribute assistant is working. Then as you fill the attributes and you can, run those create rules like.
Normally, it should work as you create. So
Yeah.
because in this case,
Oh,
we had to bring in the table and we had to. That's why
let
we
me
are
just.
forcing it to do that.
Right.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I created it.
Also, map sheet should be there. Yeah, 39.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like these rules are working.
So then we can we have a meeting tomorrow. We could just meet with Elijah tomorrow. Mike D can watch.
Sure.
Since we already had that book part booked out anyway, right?
Yeah.
And then
Meantime, if you can just explore around this environment, as of course inside the version, like edit in a version, and let us know, like follow through some of the workflows and things like that, and let us know if you feel that something is not working or you have any questions. Then that'll be good to after we fix this on Elijah's PC, then we can always see if you have any questions on that.
and
Okay.
I'm copying Ward's to the GIS maps. I'll give you guys access to that in a few minutes, so you can change that from where it's at if you want to. I'll send you guys a message on Teams letting you know that.
So, and then for this, when we're in production now, it will not allow us to edit unless we create our own version. Is that correct?
That's right. You shouldn't be able to
Okay.
edit off of default. You should be able to post to default.
Okay, good. Well, thank you guys.
You're welcome.
So we're going to meet up tomorrow then for Elijah?
Yes.
Okay. And you guys should have that in your calendar. So right
Yeah,
now,
I do.
Sewer and Storm, you guys both have admin boundary access on the GIS maps database.
Yeah,
All right,
it
well,
would
thank you,
be
everybody, and we'll talk tomorrow.
okay. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see it here.
So you can just map it. You can for that one, it's just a single. So you would just double click the wards in your table of contents, or you could do it that way. Yep, you can do it that way too.
And I can. So, but this
If you wanted to keep the same
the
symbology.
attribute assistant will still reference this.
Well, so yeah. So go double click on wards and go to source and click set data source. And now GIS, go up, go to database connections, go to GIS maps production, go to admin boundaries, wards, say add, and then apply, okay? And now
So
you're
this layer needs to be called wards for the attribute assistant to work, right?
Correct. It's dependent on the name. If you see, actually, let me show you. If you open up the attribute, the dynamic values table,
remove that.
yeah, remove that. You
layer.
can remove.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt, but it's only one more layer there, and
Where is that attribute table?
the dynamic values is
You should
on
switch to the source.
source. Yeah, the data source one.
Yeah, so you can only see standalone tables when you're in the source
Okay.
tab.
Let's explain this to you a little bit. So if you see any on the left side, you see the object ID there, right? And that's just a unique row ID in here in this table. The next one is table name. If the table name says star, then wherever that field name is found on the next column, it's going to update based on that rule. If there is no star, but instead you have a very specific layer name, then it is going to go and use that specific layer. Okay, so then if you keep looking at the next column, which is field name, then wherever that field name is found, in that table, and then the value method is there's things like last value, so it will take the last value that you entered in that and then use it. And then you have value info. If it's bringing from other columns, like for example object ID 5 map sheet, it's looking for the intersecting feature and it's saying which feature class it is getting it from and what field it's supposed to bring from the intersecting feature class. So map page grid, and then it's bringing the page number from there. So that's the convention there. And then in some cases we have formulas for expressions for calculating things. Okay.
So like street, did it bring in street name? Is that
Street name depends on where we are and if we have the layers. So let's go back and see how the street name is defined.
Yeah, it's based on parcels or the parcels layer.
Yeah,
But
so
I don't even know if it's an attribute of.
Yeah, we'll have to change that because owner information is not MetroScan.
okay, so we if we know what it is, then we can always change that so that you can get it from the right layer.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
maybe we just need permission for this table, or we can change it and it can copy back.
Yeah. Well, we can do that. We'll just I should give you guys access to owner data. I didn't know you guys needed that.
So
And
so it
we'll
says
make another copy.
right. So also remember that when it says intersecting feature, it has to be intersecting. If it is not intersecting, then it's not going to populate. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one, and then the next one is for lateral ID, which it gets the asset ID from the edge field, which is connecting to that. So
And that's more for wastewater too, I think, right?
yeah, wherever that lateral ID field is found. So I don't know if you have it on your data sets or not on the storm.
Yeah, think of this, Mike, as
Oh.
like the new. This is the attribute rules are based on this little function right here. This
Yeah,
little
this
toolbar. This little.
No,
Table.
if we want, I know we're out of time, but just a quick question. So if we wanted to, like, for some reason, I don't even know why. If there was a need to overwrite what the attribute assistant puts in, like, let's say it has street name so and so, and we say, well, that it needs to be something else. If I overwrite it, will it try to correct itself every time you're in an edit session?
No, not unless you run one of those, select the features and run one of those up there. Right, Lata?
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So for example, if you're creating new features, and when you create them, those you have the on create rules. Actually, take a look at the next few columns. There's on create, right? On create column is there, which means that if it's set to true, it's going to be calculated on creating. And then you have
Okay.
we set false for asset ID because we're not transferring. Okay, go ahead, Lata.
Sorry. That's because asset ID will be coming later on once you run the tool.
Okay. Yeah.
The SQL ID tool you need to run to get the asset ID, and that goes into the upstream IDs.
Yeah, this
And the
is
other
not
thing
the
is you can turn it off by the toolbar. When you turn that little thing off, then it won't use the attribute.
It's
editor.
already set to false, so it will not work on create.
yeah.
No, I know, but he's talking about if he were to do like a street and he
Oh,
puts a
okay.
street in, and then it comes back and it's like, oh well, that street just got renamed last week, and I want to change it. He doesn't want it to keep going back. So what I would suggest is it should be working on a selection set for one, and two, just don't select it. Two, you can turn off the attribute assistant by the first button on the toolbar, and then it won't do any calculations.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. If that shows the red, it's off, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
And then
there's a lot of power here for both you and Elijah to look at, to where, okay, if we got other fields that we can automate, essentially this is like an auto updater. This is something you guys don't have. You don't have auto updaters like they have in utilities, but for on create, I want to calculate these fields. Or maybe instead of editing one field, I want to edit not just that one field, I want to edit 3 fields or something along that lines. I'm sure there's a lot of more functionality we can implement with this table.
Yeah. Okay.
If there's anything missing, if you can give us the list and we can put it in here.
yeah, if you feel the need for automating anything else, like there is a certain way dependent attributes especially, then you can always create and add that rule over here. Okay. If you describe what it is, we'll be able to tell you what the value method would be, what the field name, and all the other things are.
Okay.
Okay.
So then it sounds like for the most part, Mike, you're good to go. You can go live.
I will go live and start writing down my questions.
And Elijah, we'll come back for tomorrow. It doesn't hurt for you to sit in on the thing with Elijah.
Yeah, I think I will.
And then Elijah can go through his thing and just to verify. And we can I go in there and kill these two versions that you have?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Are we
I'm not
going to be able to run the asset ID or this dynamic table to fill in those blanks on the things that already exist for like upstream and downstream structure IDs and things like that?
Yeah,
That's
after
like
running the tool, after running the tool, if you select these lines and again rerun the tool on a manual only, so that IDs gets filled in.
So the workflow would be like you will run your asset IDs, and that will assign asset IDs to all the um, junction feature classes and then pipe feature classes. But then when you run those when you say you select those features, like you select the lines again and you say run manual rules, then it will take the asset ID from the point features or the junction manholes and then assign them as upstream and downstream IDs on the lines. We can test it out tomorrow on the wastewater dataset.
Okay. I'm just asking because I'm not planning to do a lot of adding to the data right now. I'm planning on repairing the errors and filling in the blanks in the data.
Sure, we can.
So that's going to be my main focus.
Right, we can
So
select
since that's
some.
a big blank.
Mhm.
Okay. That was just a real quick question. Okay, we can talk more tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will see you tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Thanks,
bye.
everyone.
Alrighty.
Bye.